Hello. Let's see if we can get some people in here. Yo, what's going on, everybody? God, I need a haircut so bad. I need a haircut so freaking bad. Oh my god, can you see that I've just been sitting home and didn't shave and didn't cut my hair? Hey, what's going on? Привет, привет. Hey, Enrico, what's going on? What's up? If you guys can, please press like on the video so it pops up and people see it faster. More people can come see it. Sean says, I love your hair and your sound. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's pretty cool. What's going on, you guys? Hit that like button if you can so people discover the video faster. That's how it works. If the video gets a lot of likes, it starts popping up faster for my own subscribers too. It's so weird. It's yeah. So if you can, please hit that like button on the video. I figured I'd go online, answer some questions, tell you guys some news about what I've been doing during the coronavirus. There's a lot of lessons coming, a lot of videos are coming. A lot of stuff is happening. My God, I'm having the best. Sean says, I love your album, by the way. Thank you so much, my man. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm 3 songs into the new album. I'm composing a new album. So I'm 3 songs in, and there's gonna be another album. Hopefully, I can leave my house at some point and go record it. How's everybody doing? How are you guys? Tell me how you're doing during these crazy times. Who's doing what? Are you guys at home? Are you getting to practice some music? What's going on? What's it like in your world? Tell me. I want to hear. I know it's crazy times for all of us. Do I think it's important to learn the basics of classical music before one starts learning jazz? No, I don't. I think you can. No, I don't. And classical music is great, but you don't have to learn. Like, if you don't learn it, you're not going to play jazz. I don't think it's like that. Quarantined. Yeah, you're home, David. Home is teaching and practicing. Yeah, I know. I'll get to some questions. I just want more people to come here. I'll get to your guys' questions. Working from home as well, sneaking time to watch you now, just practicing at night as usual. Yeah. No, for sure. It's crazy. It's crazy times. It's crazy times. Because look, I'm teaching remotely. Sean says shedding, watching people create. Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah. It's crazy times, not because even so much right now. It's crazy times because there's going to be no live gigs anytime soon. Yes, they're going to open the restaurants and the schools, but there's going to be no concerts anytime soon. And so that's pretty insane, and that's going to be pretty tough for a lot of people. It's going to be tough for people like me. So I'm having to come up with new ways of I'm gonna have to come up with new ways of earning money as a musician, because we're not gonna have big concerts anytime soon. I mean, it will all come back, just not like now, or not this summer. Like, all the summer touring everyone was gonna do, that's done. No one's gonna do any summer touring. Forget it. Festivals, big concerts, all the stuff we do, that's done. For this year, it's done. Until there is a vaccine, or until they find something, there's gonna be none of that. Am I teaching online as well? Yes, I'm doing some Skype lessons online all the time. People write me, and I do Skype lessons. I'm starting an online school. I'm gonna tell you more about that soon. I just want to wait a little more until if some more people will come here, I'll start answering questions, and then I'll tell you guys some news. I don't like answering questions if like there's 30 people now. If there's gonna be 50 people in like 5 minutes, then let's wait. If not, I'll just go ahead and start anyway. Looking forward to some new videos from you. I'm getting lots of time to shed, and I've started to collaborate with musicians around the world on different tunes. Dennis, that's really great news, buddy. That's awesome. Now is the time. Listen, if during this time you can't improve your music or your other hobbies and other things you want to work on, if during this time you can't do it, you're probably never going to do it. Because I don't think for the rest of our lives we're going to get this much free time ever again. I hope not. But this is, apart. Let's see. Live performance and gigging canceled, and we will be the last to be revived. Correct, Danya. That's right. And this is when I jump ship and get a dreaded real job. Is this when I get a real job? Hey, I know some musician friends who are very good who are getting real jobs. There's nothing wrong with that. Listen, there's no shame in that. Okay, there's not. Look, being comes before well-being. Real jobs are fine. There's no shame in any of that, I don't think. Yeah, it's I'm gonna save the questions for later. I want to wait a couple more minutes and see if more people are gonna show up. Save your questions for. I'm gonna tell you when I'm gonna start answering questions, because I want, if there's gonna be more people, it's always better to wait for people so that people come and benefit from the questions. Hey, Robert. Robert Phillips says, yes, glad I caught this. Hey, yeah, how's it going, man? I'm going to start answering questions pretty soon. How many people do we usually have on this? Oh, yeah, you guys also, Flying Lotus is here. Golly. Man, what's going on, brother? Home. Yeah, I'm trying to get more people to show up and do Q&A and tell them about my music school online that I'm starting and filming videos for it right now. So I'm going to answer people's questions, and I'm just waiting for a little more people to show up. If you can hit that like button, thumbs up button, so that people discover this video faster, because that's how YouTube works. If you go and click that thumbs up right now, then people will discover the video. And also, while you're at it, hit that notification bell, so that when I release videos or I go online, then people will know. Robert says there should be thousands on here if the world worked properly. Well, thank you. I'm flattered. The way this works is people, it's not just about quality of content. It's not just about quality of content. It's also about, posting a lot, optimizing your videos. You got to get in people's faces. You got to get in front of people. You can't just rely on, look, I know how to explain things really good. Come watch my videos. Reality is a lot of people are making videos online, and I'm just one of those people. I think I make decent ones, but, right, for drinks. You see, it's almost 40 people in here. This is why I'm waiting for more people to come before I start questions. You see, before it was like 29, now it's like 36. There's going to be a couple more people. I'm going to wait a couple more minutes, and we're going to start answering some questions for you guys and showing you some examples. I know I haven't been posting videos, and I'll tell you all about that later on. But first, I'm going to answer a bunch of your questions. If you have any questions, we're going to give it like 2-3 more minutes, and we're going to start. And then whoever joins. I just like for people to show up so that more people can enjoy and benefit from the questions, because sometimes when someone else asks a question and you read it, you still benefit even though it wasn't your question. You can still learn something. So we'll wait a couple more, like 2 more minutes, and then we're gonna start doing questions. But yeah, please use this time wisely. Please use this time in a wise sort of way to improve and invest in yourself. Before you know it, this will be over. And then you're going to have to run around like a chicken without its head again. And you won't have this much free time. But anyway, that seems to be that's what I'm trying to do right now. Practice, and I'm gonna tell you about the music school I'm starting online. I'm gonna tell you all about that later. I'm gonna first answer some questions. Let's see. Let's see. I think we should start doing questions. Before I do questions, please hit that like button. It's gonna really help the video be popular and show up in people's feed, so people could come here. Please hit that thumbs up button and that notification button so that you know when I'm posting new videos. Shakespeare wrote King Lear in the Spanish flu lockdown. Of course, you're locked down. You have nothing to do. You have some food. Hopefully, you have some money. I know money is a big problem for a lot of people right now. I'm also figuring out my financial situation. It's not easy. Money's not growing on trees over here either. Yeah, but if you have a little bit of money and you have some food and you're not sick, definitely start being creative, invest in yourself in all kinds of ways. You will never have this much free time ever again. I promise you. All right, let's do some questions. Let's see. Let's do some questions. Hey, Ruslan, do you think a strong grasp of blues piano helps before diving into jazz piano? Well, I don't necessarily think before. It's like, look, until you have blues piano, you can't start jazz piano. I don't think it's like that. I think, generally speaking, you should have grasp of blues piano because it's such a big part of jazz and it's such a big part of rock and roll. By the way, rock and roll came from the blues, you guys. Didn't come from London. It came from the blues. All the music came from you know where. So yeah, that helps, I think. Let's see what else. Let's see. I'm doing some melody note by note reharm, but they sound so bad. I mean, my chords look like they are not connected. What do you recommend me? I recommend you check out some voice leading. I recommend you check out some voice leading. If chords are not connected, here I'm gonna try to demonstrate something. Because if you do note by note, yeah, it's a matter. You have to have good taste and you have to have voice leading. Let's see. Let me turn my camera around. So like, okay, so here we go. Like. Right? You see, I'm trying to connect the notes. I'm not just jumping around. I'm trying to connect the notes, and I'm trying to connect the notes so that it's actually. Please do a slow chord scale exercise on all the things you are, or tune of your choice. Yeah, I'll do it. Let's see. Have you contemplated doing some gigs streamed from home, getting people to donate and watch? Yeah. I've thought about doing that. I might do that. I might actually do that. That's a good idea. I'm thinking about something more long term. I'm gonna start a music school. I'm already filming the videos. I'm starting an online music school, and I'm gonna offer courses like course in improvising, course in rhythm, course in harmony advanced level, course in reharmonization, and they're gonna be pretty affordable. And I'm gonna film a bunch of them. I'm already filming them right now. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully that will be some decent income, and hopefully it'll help you guys. And if it's a course about harmony, I can also get like in depth about this stuff and really go deep. How important is good technique in jazz? I think good technique in jazz is very important, because in jazz you have to improvise and you have to be free. And you have to stream ideas from space, basically. You just have to stream them right away. So you have to have control. You have to have control of your instrument if you want to speak freely, right? If you want to speak freely, you need to have control of the instrument. So you have to have technique. So you don't have to worry about, oh God, I hear this idea, but I don't know how to play it because I don't have enough technique. So yes, I think the technique is very important. I recommend having formidable technique. Let's see. Let's see. I'm reading more questions, you guys. Hold on. Apart from the obvious technical questions, I wonder how you professional musicians maintain the motivation to keep focused on improving your craft. Well, it comes and goes in circles, in cycles rather. Sometimes you'll practice for a couple of weeks straight because you're inspired and you want to improve, and you sit and you practice every day for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then for a while you get busy and you don't practice because you're busy playing gigs. But then you discover that if you play gigs and you don't practice, you start playing the same crap, the same muscle memory bullshit. So that motivates you to go and practice, so that if I know I have a tour coming up, right, I'm gonna practice for a couple of weeks before the tour, so that when I'm on tour, I enjoy playing. I enjoy creating. If I don't practice, then I'm gonna get on tour and I'm gonna be playing from my muscle memory, and it's gonna be crappy. So sometimes I get motivated to practice if I have a tour coming up, because I know that that's the only way I'm going to enjoy the upcoming tour, if I practice before and I get in shape. Let's see. Will my online school be of use to guitarists like my other videos? Of course. Almost everything I do is useful for all instruments. I might have a course or two for pianists, but 98% of my content is not for pianists. It's for saxophone players, guitar players, trombone players, piano players, because improvising is improvising. Telling a story is telling a story. Knowing how to play on chord changes is knowing how to play on chord changes. It's all the same. It's not, right? So that's what I teach. I teach ideas. I teach concepts. And concepts apply to all instruments. Drums. How do you practice playing together with recordings? Any fun games? I mean, I just kind of play with recordings. I haven't done that in a while, but generally speaking, I play with records. There's nothing to practice about that. Just sort of start playing and try to get into the feel of the recording and try to lock with the drummer and the bassist when you play. Try to really, I don't know what instrument you play, but how to practice playing with records? Well, you just play with records. Do I think bassists should have piano skills? 100% yes. Listen to me. Read my fucking lips. Everyone should play a little bit of piano. Everyone should play a little bit of drums. No negotiation about that. A little bit of piano, everyone has to play, just to have a deeper relationship with harmony, deeper relationship with arranging, composing. And everyone should play a little bit of drums to have a deeper relationship with rhythm. 100%. Let's see. Tips on 251 targeting the extension out of the 5, out of alter diminished scale while improvising. Yes, David, I have tips about that. I'm going to make a video about all that stuff. I'm going to make a video. Basically, make sure that your target nodes land on strong beats, like beat 1 or beat 3, and then aim towards that. Aim your lines towards that. That's very the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot to say about that. That's a big topic. Kind of stuck on a plateau with piano hand independence. Any tips? Scott is asking. Good. Yeah, with piano hand independence, man, try to play some Bach conventions. Try to play some easy Bach music. Bach will get you hand independence up to speed. There's very easy Bach music, polyphonic music, conventions, 2-voice conventions, fugues for 3 voices, relatively easy. Check that stuff out. That will kick your ass pertaining independence pretty good. And I'm not talking about the crazy complicated Bach stuff. That's fairly easy Bach stuff. Check it out for independence. Robert is asking, do you sometimes think chord specific and sometimes think key specific when improvising? or are both automatic and parallel for a musician at your standard? You know, I think chord specific. I rarely think key specific. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm making my own life difficult, but I don't really think chord. I know I don't really think key specific because I don't improvise in a key. I improvise around a sound. Like, yes, sure, C minor and E flat major 7 share all the notes. So you could, you know, but when it's a C minor and I want to emphasize that, I might want to play the third of it, which is E flat. When then E flat major hits, I want to play the third of that, which is a G. I want to sing around each chord. Yes, they share a lot of common tones, but that's just a method. Thinking in terms of improvising in particular keys is just a way to avoid wrong notes, right? I set a little higher standards for myself than just that. Sure, thinking in key center will help you avoid wrong notes, but it's not gonna help you sing over the chord, right? I think chord to chord because I want to sing over each chord. I'm not worried about temporary key centers because I'm so scared I'm gonna play wrong notes. I'm not gonna play wrong notes. I don't need key center to give me that 4 bars of peace of mind. Oh, it's just that scale. I don't need that. You don't need that either. Pentatonic minor licks. I'm gonna have a course about that. There's a lot, man. Oh God. Sometimes you guys ask me things and I'm like, do you guys really want me to give you that stuff? I feel like there's so much of that on YouTube. Pentatonic minor licks. I'm happy to do it. It's just I thought that there's such abundance of that material on YouTube. I thought there are so many people that are doing that already. Yeah, sure, I'll do it. How do you approach analyzing a solo I transcribe? Philip asks, Ruslan, how do you approach analyzing a solo you transcribed? Very good question. Well, I analyze it for many different parameters. I analyze it, how does the player play around changes? How does he approach playing over changes? Is it chromatic? Is he playing outside? Is he playing inside? Is he developing themes? He or she. Is the player developing themes or mostly not developing themes? Is the player using... I'm looking at how the player balances different elements. Like I'll see there's a lot of eighth notes and then the player starts playing like quarter notes or half notes. I'm seeing how the player balances the different elements. And there's also different language bits that I like. Like I'll steal a little language bit from a solo, like a little phrase or a lick, and then I'll play that phrase and lick in every key to ingrain it because I really like that. So I'll go and do that with solos I transcribed as well. I should have a course about what to do with transcribed solos. How did I come up with the idea for Bee's Knees? It was a solo piano piece. I played it by myself on the piano. I just wrote it on the piano. I wanted that kind of continuous rhythmic movement on Bee's Knees. I wanted that constant movement like a bee flying around. And then my producer, my best friend, Jan Perchik, said, dude, this should be with the band. Why are you doing it by yourself? I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, there should be drums and strings. I'm like, oh yeah, you were right. I kind of hear that. Yeah, let's do that. And then that's what we did. Let's see. When are these courses starting? I'm filming them now. Within a couple of weeks, so they should be online. Because the big thing is also, I'm filming my courses now. To those of you who just joined, I'm starting a music school online. I'm going to have courses. They're going to be pretty cheap. Each course is going to have like 10 videos. Each video is going to be like 10, 15 minutes or more. It's going to have PDFs. You can ask questions under the video, and it'll be really great. It will allow me to get in depth about certain specific subjects. Let's see more questions. To exercise break the form and the solo, do you recommend singing the ideas? Any exercise to start doing it? To exercise break the form and the solos? Yeah, I mean, I think singing your ideas is a great way to practice anyway. I think singing your ideas is awesome. Yes, I recommend doing that. I recommend singing a solo and then transcribing the solo that you sang. Sing your solo into a recorder, record it, and then transcribe your solo that you sang. I recommend doing that. You get to learn your own heart that way. Robert Phillips, here's that rainy day. Are you thinking the majors are all one chord or popping a few 1 to 4 chords in there? I'm not sure how I think about that. Huh? How do I think about that? Shit. He's asking me if I'm thinking major. I'm not really thinking. You see, that's the problem. I have to sit and figure. I don't really think. Because I'm not looking for notes to play. I'm trying to hear what my brain, what my subconscious is feeding me. I'm not really thinking. When I play, I'm trying to listen to what my heart is singing and get out of the way. So it's, but I'm sure I can answer your question better. I just have to think a little more. I'm sorry, Robert. I'd have to really give it some thought. Greetings from Denmark. You're a genius. Oh, thank you, my friend. You're very kind. Tour Dog is asking, do you think chord specific or cadence based? Could you explain what you mean by cadence based? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Further to my chord, okay, Robert, further to my chord or key question, does your answer change if the tempo goes up very fast? Good, good. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Absolutely not. I've just been doing this a long time, so I have bigger problems I worry about. This is not a problem I worry about anymore, Robert. How should a beginner organize their jazz practice session? Very good question. I'm sorry I'm backed up on the questions, you guys, but let's see. How should a beginner organize their practice session? Well, I think a beginner should be taking lessons, first of all. And the beginner should, first of all, everyone, not just the beginner, everyone should organize their practice lessons based on the goals they want to arrive at, goals they want to achieve. Go watch my video on this channel that's called How to Practice. Have specific goals, okay, technique, chord scales, learning tunes, transcribing, have chapters. Your practice sessions should have chapters. Okay, let's do this now. Let's do that now. Let's do this chapter now. Let's do this chapter now. And you pick the chapters based on the goals that you're trying to accomplish. If you want to learn how to practice on how to play on changes, then do that for 15 minutes or 20 minutes or however long. Then move on to the next topic. Have specific topics you want to improve. I was about to transcribe, Manuel says, I was about to transcribe one of your solos and the video came up. Should I stay or listen? Yeah, no, stay, forget it. Thank you, I'm very flattered. The solo isn't going to go anywhere. I might go somewhere and here you and I can talk in person. Marina Kaplan, будь здоров, Ruslan. Спасибо большое, Marina. Спасибо. What do you want to achieve when improvising? How do you develop your improvisation arc? And what do you think about soloing as more like monologue or conversation? Wow. Did you have to ask me this crazy, complicated question? Because this is all I talk about. What do I want to achieve when improvising? When improvising, I want to achieve the same thing that, I don't know, who's a good public speaker? Like Martin Luther King was a really good public speaker. And when he speaks, there's an arc. You want to keep people's attention all the time. You want to change the dynamics all the time. And then you can say like this, and then you can go like this. And then you can tell them a story, and then tell a joke. And then you can tell them something serious, and something personal, and something angry, and something funny. And I want to achieve telling a story and seeing what's going to be the most compelling thing to say next. That's what I want to achieve. Now, in language, you can do it because in language there are specific meanings, right? The word table means table. And in music, there is no meaning, specific semantic meanings, table. There's that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean table. It doesn't mean chair. So it's a little more tricky to tell a story with music. But you can do it, and I have some videos about that on my channel. How to tell a story, actually, as a video. Check it out. What to do? Yana says, yes, please, Ruslan, make a course on what to do with transcribed solo to get most of it. Yes, I'm gonna do that. How do I stay creative? And Gabrielle is asking, how do you stay creative in quarantine? I feel it's hard because it's like if there was something lurking behind you. I feel like I can only study technique because it has no emotional investment. Yeah, Gabriel, go check out some of my videos on how to improvise and learn how to limit yourself. If you're gonna limit yourself, it's like give yourself some parameters. When you limit yourself, now your mind has a game to win. It's not free to do anything. If you limit yourself, you ignite your creativity. And then you become more engaged and more creative. I have videos about that on my channel, how to improvise. In my playlist, how to improvise. It'll show you how to limit yourself. And I think if you stick to that, it's going to ignite some creativity. That's what I do. Robert says, I followed Barry Green online course previously, and he was adamant that if you're playing jazz, a minor is always Dorian. Would you agree? Or do you utilize other modes? A minor is always Dorian? That sounds like some purist jazz police stuff. Tell Barry Green there's a song like Golden Earrings. The gypsy said it's true. Golden earrings. That's Aeolian. That's not Dorian. Tell him there's a song. Let's see what other. I have to think of some Aeolian songs. Let's see. I'm kind of spacing out. Let's see what some standards, some show tunes are for sure Aeolian. Never Let Me Go is a beautiful ballad. That's, I'm pretty sure, Aeolian. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. Someone is asking me a question in Russian. Let me translate it. Привет из Москвы. Спасибо за уроки по компингу. Мог бы посвятить компингу с положения больше видосы, подкрепить это теорией наподобие книги Henry. Someone's asking me about comping. How to comp. That's a really good question. Mikhail, спасибо за вопрос. That's a really how to comp, asking me if I can make more videos about how to comp. I'm going to have a whole course on how to comp on my school coming up, because that's a big subject. I'm going to have like 10 or 11 videos about that. So yeah, that's coming. I'm starting a music school online, and I'm filming the videos right now. And it's going to have a whole course, and it's not going to be expensive at all. That's going to be only about how to comp. It's going to be very in-depth. That's better with courses, you guys. It's much better to do courses because then I can go really in-depth and nitpick the subject. Who are my favorite trumpet players, Shawn is asking. Today, living, probably Ambrose is my favorite. That dude is crazy good. I love Ambrose Akimusri. Who are my absolute top favorite guitar improvisers? Man, well, I'm a big Pat Metheny freak. I love Metheny. I love Adam Rogers. I love Julian Lodge. I love, let's see, Charles Altura is amazing. So yeah, this. So the question is, next question is, do I see a set of changes? You mean in terms of how I approach set of changes versus chord by chord? I usually see it as chord by chord. And then I look at it as set of changes as like in terms of mood, to see what the mood is creating in terms of the changes, what mood the changes are creating. But in terms of what notes to play, I usually look at it chord by chord. How to choose your solo transcription, Liliana is asking me. Very simple, Liliana. So choose your solo transcription, very simple. If the solo is moving your heart and it moves the strings of your heart, transcribe that solo. Ask your heart, which solo my heart likes the best? Whatever your heart likes the best, that's what you should transcribe. Let's see. Hebrew lullabies. Yeah, I love Hebrew lullabies. Let's see. Yiddish and Hebrew songs. I love those, yes. How do you transcribe chords? Someone's asking. Do you remember it being difficult when you were a beginner? Look, I have to confess, you guys. The question is, how do you transcribe chords? Do I remember it being difficult when I was a beginner? I have to confess, I am lucky. I've always been lucky. I have a really strong relative pitch. I don't have perfect pitch, but I have really strong relative pitch. And that's been very helpful my entire life. That's been very helpful. So no, it was never difficult for me. But I know some people struggle with that because some people don't. It's like you're lucky you have blue eyes or green eyes or gray eyes. You're better at basketball, you're better at mathematics. I just had good ears. I was lucky. Rigby Otto. Do you guys know Rigby Otto? Rigby Otto has a course that he's offering right now, how to help people with ear training. And I trust Rigby Otto full-heartedly with that course because Rigby Otto knows a lot about ear training. Check out that course, Rigby Otto, ear training. Do I think in English or Russian? I think in English, Russian, and Hebrew at the same time. I speak 3 languages and think in 3 languages. 1 or 2 things I learned from transcribing Lyle Mays. Oh my God. Transcribing Lyle Mays. Man, I learned, so I'm trying to figure out what I learned, how to put it in words. Lyle Mays is one of my favorite piano players who've ever lived. Yeah, I learned how to be lyrical, how to be very emotional, and still improvise on a very high level in terms of content and real-time composition. How to be very emotional, very lyrical, very gentle and tender, and how to still maintain a very high level of high information dense sort of music improvising in terms of narrative and speech, like giving a speech. Jaden is asking, what are you looking for when you're analyzing something you transcribed? What are you looking for when you're analyzing something you transcribed? I'm looking for how the person develops themes. I'm looking for how the person approaches playing over chords. I'm looking for how the person approaches arcs of solos. My phone keeps ringing. My phone keeps ringing. 1 second. Have I been, let's see. What are you looking for? Let's see. What are the basic or intermediate skills serious pianists should have mastered, like triads, inversions? By the way, thank you for all your videos. What are the basic intermediate skills serious pianists should have mastered, like triads? Well, I think you should know all your minors and majors. I think you should know your inversions. I think you should know your modes. I think you should know what mode goes with what chord. I think you should have some decent piano technique. I think you should be able to read the chart. That's a good start. Weekly Piano wants to know, how am I so good looking? Look, the secret is eating too many snacks and not shaving anywhere, especially where you already committed to shave before. But you'd never understand that with your full head of hair. Do I have a preference of playing groove-based music or like a bunch of chords? No, I don't. I don't. Each one is an opportunity of its own. How is playing with Gene and Shawn on Bob's? How is playing different with Gene and Shawn on Bob's band? That's like, right, we first had Sean Horton on drums, who's a tremendous drummer, and now we have Gene Coy on drums, who's a tremendous drummer. It's like driving an Audi and driving a BMW. Audis are freaking awesome. Beamers are freaking awesome. But you can't really explain the difference until you drive both. You drive an Audi, then you drive a Beamer. You're going to understand that both are great, but there'll be some little differences that are hard to put in words. But only when you drive both cars, you'll know, oh, yeah, I see what the difference is. Yeah, it's both awesome, but I can see how they're a little different. It's hard to explain. How many diminished scales are there? 3? Дима Темный спрашивает, думаешь о нотах, когда играешь? Someone's asking me if I'm thinking about notes when I'm playing. No, I don't. I don't. It means if I do, it means I haven't practiced the song enough. It means I have to go practice. Hi, Ruslan, do you have perfect pitch? Kurt is asking me. No, I do not have perfect pitch. Weekly Piano says, I got a man bun waiting to come out one day. Yeah, you wish, buddy. You wish to be so lucky to have this sexiness going on. Hi, Russell from Tbilisi, Georgia. Hey, Eric, how's it going? Okay, Paul is asking me a question. Besides the descending chromatic approach, matching melody to bass note to construct chord quality, what is another specific reharm device you can share? I love the reharm videos and covers. Let me understand the question. Besides descending chromatic approach, matching melody to bass note, I see. You could also have the bass go in up thirds, up fourths, up fifths. It doesn't have to go half steps. You could decide that each bass note is going to be a fourth away. And then you have to figure how to match the melody to that. Yeah, the bass going chromatically is just one option. You could go down whole steps. You could go down minor thirds, major thirds, fourths, fifths, minor sixth, major sixth. And then, Paul, you can adjust your other stuff to that bass. What is the importance of blues and jazz? Oh, how do you answer that correctly? Well, clearly very high importance. Clearly very high importance. I think much of the phrasing comes from blues, from singing. I think much of the language, even through bebop and later, preserved from the blues. You can trace the blues pretty much in every era of jazz, from Dixieland to Coltrane, modern, everything in between. You can trace the blues in there because it's in there. So the blues is like a thread that goes throughout all the different dialects of jazz improvising. What's a good place to start on keyboard for, say, a horn player? I'd take a lesson or two. I am a big believer in putting the train on the rails first, and then you can let it roll by itself. I would take a lesson. I don't care what you're starting. If you're starting from the beginning, my advice is take 2-3 lessons with someone so that they put your train on the rails, and then it can keep rolling from there. Because if you're saying to start for keyboard player for a keyboard for a horn player, means you're kind of like a beginner. Okay, well, take a lesson or two, and then I can give you more advice. But I think you understand what I'm trying to say. Patricia says, "Hey, how's it going? You're so much fun. Listen to a chat on chats." Sharik, what's going on, buddy? Are you on the 60 BPM bus with Bob when practicing? I should be. I hear that's a really good method. To specify, what are some of the reharm devices you used in your pop covers, like Ed Sheeran, too, in Shape of You? Oh man, I teach some of those devices that I used there. I don't really think of them as devices. I just reharm stuff, and I'm like, well, what the fuck am I doing? Oh, I think that's what I'm doing, right? And then I make a video explaining that that's actually a method. I teach most of, if you look at my reharm videos, you're going to have enough stuff to reharm for the rest of your life. And I'm going to have a course on reharmonization on my upcoming school. I'm starting an online school, you guys, with courses. Each course is going to be specific to each subject, and I'm going to go in depth on a subject. Each course is going to have like 10 videos, and it's going to be pretty affordable. It's not going to be expensive at all. So I'm going to do a whole course of reharm and give some stuff that I did on YouTube and give some new stuff. I have a bunch of other stuff that I didn't teach on YouTube I'm going to have to put there. So that's coming. Liz is asking in Russian, how's my cooking? It's terrible. It's just as bad as it's always been, Liz. What's the best use of Superlow, Korean? Samir is asking. Well, depends on the harmonic context. I would use it as a way of going in and out of harmony sometimes. I like to use scales that are like 75% in with the original chord scale and 25% out. Superlow could be used for that. Kurt is saying, Russ, on Bob's record you played with so much emotion. How are you able to know what to play in each song and different genres of music? Shit. I like a lot, Kurt, I like a lot of different genres of music. I'm 39 years old. I checked a lot of music out. I played a lot of funk gigs, a lot of rock gigs, a lot of blues gigs, a lot of jazz gigs, a lot of singer-songwriter gigs, a lot of television gigs. I even played some tango gigs, and I played probably over 700 weddings and probably hundreds of cocktail hours. And I'm that kind of musician. I'm sort of a, jack of all trades. I don't know that I'm a king of any of those trades. I'm pretty sure I'm not. But I'm certainly a jack of a lot of trades. So, all that to say is that I have a way. And then what happens if you play different styles your whole life, you eventually sort of find your way of expressing yourself through each one of these styles. So if it's a funk thing, or if it's a slow even eights thing, or a ballad thing, I've played these things so much, and I played piano so much, that I can find a way to sort of channel myself, at least to a decent extent, in most contexts that ask for creative expression, especially if I've been practicing lately and I'm warmed up. Sean is asking, what is my DAW of choice? I'm an Ableton guy. I do Ableton Live. That's all I do. Ableton Live, and then Pro Tools, of course, because you have to know Pro Tools in this industry. Paula said, thanks, Ruslan. I'm already a student of your school the second it comes out. I love your reharms. So one idea for your courses would be transcription of your work with analysis. Oh, interesting. Paul, you think there'll be a lot of people interested? See, I'm always surprised. I'm like, there's so many great musicians and so much great music to transcribe. But yeah, I could do that. I could definitely transcribe some of my own stuff and analyze it. Bob, okay. Oh, 60 BPM. Bob's an advocate of practicing really slow. Yes. Guys, practice slow. Practice slow. Okay, I know no one asked this question, but practice slow. Trust me. Any chance I could play for a second before signing off? Of course, Robert, I'll play. What's the big deal with Flanagan's solo on Giant Steps? Ivy is asking. Well, poor Tommy Flanagan showed up to a recording session with John Coltrane, recording the song Giant Steps. It was just a session, but nobody knew that John Coltrane had brought Giant Steps. And Giant Steps has crazy chord changes that are very different from everything that came before them. And Tommy Flanagan had to get through these changes. He was like, oh my God, that's very unusual. Now, Coltrane came to the session prepared. He's been practicing these changes for probably 6 months. So he came ripping on these changes, killing. And Tommy Flanagan was a little slower because it was like, whoa, what is these Giant Steps chord changes? How do you even improvise on those? And so you can hear him on the recording kind of really having to put his best foot forward and kind of, no, I don't want to say struggling, but he's really trying to focus to get through these changes. You can see that he's not super fluent and free on those changes. And no wonder. Imagine showing up to a recording session and someone gives you Giant Steps, and that's the first time that there's been Giant Steps. There's been no Giant Steps before. And he just had to sit there and play a solo over it. Poor guy. Let's see. Kurt, I like Nord's keyboards. I'm more of a Yamaha guy, but that's not because I think Yamaha sounds better than Nord. It's just because I know how to use Yamaha better. I'm more of a Yamaha guy, but Nord are amazing. Yeah, I love that. Do you think the single most important thing when improvising is Matific development? You have really struck a note with me on that ever since I discovered your videos when you made them. I think the most important thing is a storytelling arc. And of course, Matific development is an indispensable part of that. You can't have a story arc if you're not developing any themes. Imagine watching a movie where every idea they start doesn't get developed. What kind of movie is that? Like you see a sunset, then you see a chase scene, then you see completely different characters playing ping pong, then you see ninjas fighting, then you see a chef cooking. And that's the movie, right? What? No themes were developed? So I don't want to say that Matific development is the most important thing. I think plot is the most important thing. And you cannot have a plot without Matific development. So Matific development is not the only thing you need to have a plot. There's other things you need to have a plot. But Matific development is a big part of having a plot, yes. Am I in the middle of transcribing anything at the moment? Yes, I'm transcribing a Kurt Rosenwinkel solo on Nika's Dream. It's kick-ass, it's so good. Ruslan, you are the man. Thank you, Robert. I'm glad I'm able to answer some questions. Yeah, you guys, so soon I'm going to start a website. I don't know what the website's going to be called yet. I'm going to look for a nice domain. I'm going to start a domain, and I'm going to have courses like reharmonization course, improvising course, course on developing rhythm, course on repertoire, like what songs to learn, how to learn them, course on Matific development, course on, let's see, what courses am I going to have? You guys could give me ideas what courses you want me to do. I have about 13 so far that I thought that I wrote the curriculum for, and I'm filming them right now as we speak. Let's see. Russ, Kurt is asking, you did a collaboration with Chick. Anybody else you'd like to do a collab with? You know, Kurt, I've been pretty lucky to collaborate with a lot of people. Chick and George Duke and Stanley Clarke and Bob and everyone, I don't know, a lot of other people that I get to work with, Vinny Colaiuta, Dennis Chambers, Marcus Miller. I've collaborated with a lot of people by now. And you know what I found, Kurt? Some of my most fun musical moments, most meaningful musical moments to me, happened not when I was collaborating with some famous musician who's my hero. Some of the most meaningful musical moments in my career happened when I was collaborating with my peers, which I don't even know if it's called collaborating. It's just called working. Are me and Bob Reynolds collaborating? No, we're just in a band together. So I'm not really looking forward to collaborating with the next big name anymore. I did in my 20s. And now I'm almost in my 40s. And I've kind of had enough. I'm looking for meaningful experiences. And in my sort of the way I see it, meaningful experiences happen when you play a lot with someone. Someone you click with, and then that person you click with, you play a lot together. And then you start having meaningful musical experiences together. I'm much more looking forward to that than I'm looking forward to collaborating with someone. I hope that answers your question, Kurt. Do I have a favorite book about music? I like biographies. I like biographies of musicians a lot. Robert is asking, when transcribing, can you sing the part from melody that you are transcribing before even touching the solo? Depends. If it's a solo I listen to a lot of times, then usually I can, Robert. Yes. If not, then I can't. Could you make audience laugh with your solo? Oh, I've been making audiences laugh with my solos since the beginning of my career. Especially musicians. Storytelling, Matific development, if they are on their... anything else will be added extra. Yeah, Robert, it'll be you know me, man. Come on, you know that shit's gonna be in there. Reharmonization would be good theme, yes. Of course I'll have that. How do you balance... Okay, Manuel is asking, how do you balance working on fundamentals with exploring the things you love? Why can't it feel so hard? Why can it feel so hard to just let go and take the time to understand what inspires you? I wish you and I could have this conversation in person, Manuel. Why don't you write me on Instagram and we'll talk? Ruslan Piano. Find me on Instagram, Ruslan Piano, because that's a big subject. Let's have a chat about that. Sharik says, how do you, or did you structure your practice time? Man, I would just decide what things I want to work on, and I would just work on them all the time. Like, if it was Matific development, I would do small increments, like 15 minutes break, 10 minutes break, 20 minutes break, 10 minutes break, stuff like that. And then I decide the topics I want to work on, and I just do it like that with the topics. Small chunks of time. How good is your sight reading, Russ? Can you play any piece that will get put in front of you? How important is sight reading in the music industry? My sight reading is pretty decent. It used to be really, really, really good. But because I don't sight read anymore so much, no one's asking me to, except Josh Groban, sight reading is a muscle. So my sight reading is kind of, it's okay now. It's still better than most people's, I think. But no, I couldn't play anything that people put in front of me, no. I used to be able to play quite a few. Yeah, I was pretty close there when I was in college because I had to. I was classically trained and that helped a lot. And then I had to accompany singers, bring all kinds of pieces you have to learn and like not learn, read. You have to read, and so that gets your sight reading up to speed. How important it is? Sight reading? Depends what you want to do with your career. If you want to play film sessions or play in an orchestra, if you want to, do that kind of stuff, play on film sessions, play film scoring sessions, you need to read. If you want to play gigs in the theater for shows, you need to read. If you want to, if you want to play for Christina Aguilera, you don't need to read. If you want to, if you want to play on X Factor, you need to read because there's 60 songs every show, and they give you charts, and you need to be able to read. So it depends where you want to be in the music industry. Do you agree that practicing scales using staccato is the most important to get speed in fingers? Not just staccato, legato, then pairing to like dun 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 and da 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 or da 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 da, like staccato, legato, marcato, pairing legato, all the articulations. I don't think that staccato is the most important. I think it's important to practice all the articulations. And I'm gonna have a course that's gonna be called Piano Technique. It's gonna be on my upcoming school of video courses. I'm going to have a whole course of like 10 videos on piano technique. And I'm going to be talking about staccato and all that stuff, how to get your speed up. Is the goal when you're improvising ultimately to reach that almost out-of-body experience when playing with someone when you aren't thinking and you are purely expressing? Yes, that's the goal, Robert. I'm going to give you a short answer. That is the goal, yes. Julian, this is probably how do you drag yourself out of a practice rut? Do you just force it? Well, Julian, again, find me on Instagram and write me a private message, Ruslan Piano. It depends on the rut, depends where you're stuck and why. I'm happy to help you. Find me on Instagram. We'll just chat. I won't charge you any money. I'll just find me and I'll write you and I'll answer some of your questions. I think I can help you with that. Ruslan Piano. I'm a bass player. Can I take a lesson with you? Yeah, my last 3 students were bass players. The past week. Absolutely, you can take a lesson with me. Again, find me on Instagram, Ruslan Piano. Ruslan Piano, and write me, and we'll set it up. Could you talk about a difference between truly internalizing an idea and committing it to muscle memory? Ha ha ha. Very good. Very good. Could you talk about a difference between truly internalizing an idea and just committing it to muscle memory? Yes. Internalizing an idea means that you're also committing it to your ear. And you're also committing it in different keys. There is also an overlap. It also means you're committing it to muscle memory. Yes. But if you just commit an idea to muscle memory, right? If you just commit an idea to muscle memory in one key, that doesn't mean you internalized it. Because that's not enough. You have to internalize it in your ear. And what I like to do with ideas that I like, I will take the idea, I will play it in different keys, and then I will play it diatonically from every degree of the scale that it's in. So, for instance, let me demonstrate to you something. If I have an idea that I like, right? Let's take the idea of the famous the lick, right? Let's see. Here, I'm going to show you what it means to internalize an idea the way I see it. Right? So that what I'll do is I'll play it I'll do it like that. But more importantly, here's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna do it like this. I'm going to it's Mixolydian C, right? So you see, I can find the idea to the chord scale, and I play it diatonically. So that to me, that's how you internalize an idea. Let's see. Okay, how do I turn this back? So that to me is how you internalize an idea. Oh, that's a cat scratch. Yes, I was hanging out with my friend's cat again. She dropped it off. Let's see. What's the first jazz song you worked on? How do you think it helped you acquire great skills? First jazz song? Well, that was fucking 35 years ago. I don't remember. I think I'll Prevail by Charlie Parker. It was a blues in F, and it was a good something fundamental for me to learn. And that opened the door to bebop, that opened the door to jazz language, that opened the door to like a blues form, which is very popular. What are your biggest influences from other instruments or genres? Oh, God. Are you kidding me? Yeah, Michael Brecker, saxophone. Kenny Garrett, saxophone. Pat Metheny, guitar. Huge influence. Yeah, I mean, who else? Singers. I love singers. I try to play like singers. It's not easy. Cheers, guys. It's not easy to do. I try to do. I'm influenced by singers, how lyrical singers are. So that's a big deal to me too. Let me see. Hold on. Let me put the phone straight so I can read your questions. What's the easiest way to kind of bluff your way through a jam when you just come and join in with the band who are playing? Keith is asking me. I don't know. In order for me to know what the easiest way to bluff through a jam is, it would have to be something I used to ever try to do. If I ever tried to do that, I would have an answer of how to do that. But I've never tried to bluff my way through a jam. So I don't really know how to do that. I've always tried to sound great and only sit in when I know what I'm, when I know I can contribute to the conversation. And if I know that they're playing, I can't contribute to the conversation because I don't know the tune or it's not my genre or I don't like the band. I just don't sit in. Were you pretty alarmed when the COVID restrictions came in and you were coming back from your tour with Bob and he was ill? Hadn't you been to Spain? Yeah, we were pretty alarmed. It was pretty scary. We thought he was sick. We thought we're all gonna freaking get sick. It was awful. His vlog, Bob's vlog, explains a lot about that. That's, yeah. On my new record, who are the musicians I booked to play with and why? Oh, you mean the one that I released or the one that I'm working on right now, Kurt? Facebook is also possible, Julian. Yes, you can find me on Facebook, of course. What are some of my top five most useful jazz standards to learn for different improv skills? I'm gonna have a repertoire course. I would say different standards that have like something like from the All American Songbook, like It Could Happen to You. Something like a little more crazy, like Have You Met Miss Jones, because that bridge is really challenging and it's gonna really help you develop abilities to play over changes. stuff like that. What is something modal like impressions, right? So different kind of tunes. Do you have any advice for dealing with overwhelm when you discover how much you have ahead of you to learn as a musician? Yes, I do. Manageable chunks. Write it all out. Write it all out. Measure it. Take each subject then and break it into manageable chunks. Measure small, manageable chunks. What gets measured gets done. What gets in paper out of your head relieves some stress and relieves some anxiety because now it's organized in front of you. It seems like for anything there are so many possible permutations, it can seem unattainable. Correct. And I used to fall into this trap all the time. I used to always, I have to map out every permutation. And then it becomes more about the mapping out, and you end up mapping out every permutation. You end up practicing 10% of that. Practice a couple permutations and move on. It's okay not to cover everything because there's endless permutations. Don't drown in the amount of possibilities. I've done that for many years. It's a trap. Have I ever played a guitar? Not in public, no. Gabe, Makolachi, what's up? Gabby is here, my friend Gabe. It's awesome. He's a great guitar player. He's here. Let's see. Hey, Ruslan, how should one balance working on music material like transcriptions and just playing around and figuring stuff out? Well, it depends on how much free time you have. And how much motivation you have to practice. Do a little bit of both. But I can't tell you what you want me to tell you. Okay, do that for 17 minutes. The other thing, do for 23 and a half minutes. I don't know, my friend. Depends on how much free time you have and what's more important. If you want to, if you think that the discovery stuff right now is more crucial, then give that more of your time. If you think the other thing is more crucial, give that more of your time. It's kind of a balance it based on what fascinates you more. Because if you're fascinated with something, you're going to give it more energy. The record I released, how did I pick the musicians and why? I picked the musicians based on how I thought they're going to feel and sound on each particular song. As you can see, on each song, there's pretty much different players. It's not like a record where it's the same band and everything. I thought that this guy is going to really feel good on that song because I know his playing and I know this song and I think it's going to work. Now, that other song feels like this. Oh, yeah, this drummer will feel good on that song because I played with the drummer a lot. I know what that drummer feels like. Yeah, let me call him or her. So you see what I'm saying? I know these players. I've played with all of them. I know what their strengths are. And that's kind of how I went about it. Sometimes do you transcribe isolated lines or do you prefer to transcribe the whole solo? I do both. Depends on the solo. Have I played with Jennings Quartet? No, I have not. What country am I from? I was born in the Soviet Union, Ukraine, what is now Ukraine, and I grew up in Israel. Kenny, what's going on? My Romance or Waltz for Debbie by Bill Evans. How about both? Let's do both. What is your original spoken language? My first language is Russian, my second language is Hebrew, and my third language is English. And I'm pretty much equally fluent, I think, in all three. I don't have a weaker language. I only speak three, but I speak, I'm pretty sure, equally well in all three. When I see a jazzman improvising, I always wonder what is the real part of improvisation. That's a really good question. Can you express that part in percentage? I don't think. I think it depends on the person. For some people, it's higher percentage. For some people, it's lower. Jazz man is not something that someone is improviser. It depends on how good improviser you are. The better improviser you are, the more that stuff is improvised on the spot without any resort to muscle memory or habit. Russ, you said a lot of things today that have lifted my spirit. I've been depressed, feeling disconnected from my life and gigs gone. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I hope it helps. I hope I'm really happy to hear that. That's really nice of you to say. I'm happy I was able to assist. Have I ever done a gospel gig? I can hear from time to time you do a gospel, like especially around the diminished chords. Oh, I've done a lot of gospel gigs. I've played with, I played at church for many years. I did some gigs with Kirk Franklin. I played quite for a year and a half with Doobie Powell, who's a gospel artist. Yeah, I've done my share of gospel stuff. For some years, I've only played gospel for a good couple of years. The sax player I play with keeps getting lost in the changes and not noticing he's playing over the wrong chords. Any tips beyond running up and down the arpeggios and chord tone exercises? Yeah, the tip is finding a new sax player. No, the tip is that he understands that it's happening and starts practicing to play on the chord changes. I have how to play on chord changes part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. It's free. The most important thing is that he recognizes that it's a problem. And then it can be solved. Just for my 4 videos, it can be solved. Other than great time and harmonic accuracy, what qualities are most desirable in bass player for you, touring, jamming, recording? Yes. The bass player, just like everybody else, has to play bass like a producer, which means he has to know what gear the song is in. Is it first gear, second gear, third gear? If it's first gear, he needs to play more sparse. Then if the song needs help moving forward, he can start playing a little busier. Do you understand what I'm saying? He has to be aware of where the song is energetically, and that has to inform his choices, right? He has to not overplay. He has to have a great tone. Bass player has to play like a producer, which means sometimes lay out. And then when you lay out, maybe when you come back, start playing in a higher register if it's a quiet part. But then when it hits back hard, boom, go back to the low register. Like all these decisions, like producer kind of decisions, you know? And that's what I expect the drummer to do also, and the bass player. The drummer has to know when to play a hi-hat, when to play a cymbal, when to play a side stick, when to play a snare, when to play only 4 on the snare, when to play 2 and 4 on the snare. And that's decisions of a producer to help the song move along, move forward. The bass player has to be able to arrange on the spot his part that supports the music and is dictated to by where the music is at. That's what I expect. How is it working with Doobie Powell? How do you find his chords changes around his songs? Oh man, I learned everything from Doobie. Are you kidding me, man? I used to sound just like him. I find his chords because I have decent ears. I met him because I didn't even know what he looked like. I only played his music, and then I was at this church at a shed, and I played all of his chords, and he was there. I didn't even know what he looked like. He came up to me and introduced himself, and I almost shat myself. I was like, oh my God, you're my hero. And he laughed because he could already hear that I'm playing all of his shit. And he said they're playing, it was in Boston, like, hey, we're playing a gig tomorrow, come play with us. And I was in the band the next day. I love Doobie Powell more than anything. He taught me everything. He's the best thing ever. Sanda, hello from Poland. Thanks for sharing, Kurt. Happy to hear, man. Thank you from London. Hope that you're doing well in this time, man. I should be practicing. Yeah, I haven't. I have to go practice too. I want to finish this beer. You guys, I'm gonna post more. I'm gonna do a Instagram live later today, and I'm gonna play. I think we've done 80 minutes. Favorite bass player, dude? You're kidding me, right? Shit, I've played with too many bass players. John Petitucci was great. Pino was great. Hadrian Farad was great. Marcus Miller was great. Stanley Clarke was great. Fucking man, I was lucky to play. Victor Wooten was awesome. What would I ask one of my music heroes if I had the chance? Man, I asked all of my heroes all the questions I wanted. I'm not even gonna front. I don't have any questions left for my musical heroes. Everything that can be answered has been answered. The rest, I don't think that can be answered. Guys, I'm gonna call it quits for now and finish this beer. Tell me which, write me and tell me which, oh, Federico is amazing. Yes, I love Federico. What a great bass player. Yes, he's one of my favorites. Suggest what themes before I go. Now it's time for you to answer my question. You have to answer my question now. I answered a million of your questions. If I'm going to do video courses, and the course is like 10 videos or so, each video is like 10-15 minutes. What themes should I make the courses? Give me topics for courses. I have some topics, but I want you guys to tell me, Ruslan, I want you to do a video course on this topic, What topics should I do my video courses about? You tell me, please. I want you to answer my question now. What do you guys think? Composing. Aha. On composing. Got it. Ear training for drummers. Got it. Nice. Yep. Harmonic ear training. Yeah. Piano for non-pianists. Foundational gig repertoire. How to do your hair. Your YouTube videos were all inspiring for me. Maybe you could get into more detail on those. Yep. Horizontal approach to harmony and inner voice leading. Yes. Self-editing, thinking and producer when playing. Yes. Melodic minor. Got it. Thank you. These are great ideas. How to transcribe chord progressions. Working on transcriptions. Comping. Yeah. My God. There's so many great ideas. Modes. How to figure out the best scale for a given chord. Yes. Definitely. Hard to work on playing only what you listen here. Solo piano. Accompanying singers. Oh man. These are great. What a bunch of great ideas for courses. I think people is so lost that don't even know where to start. So for me, it's 100% vocabulary. How to improvise like Pat Metheny. I would take that course if I knew how to do it. First, I want to take it before I teach it. Pop rhythm section playing. Yeah, absolutely. Transcribing chords. Kids want the basics. Perhaps a study on a favorite player's style. Yep. How to play like Ruslan. Yeah, I'm going to figure that out before I teach it. Reharmonization, absolutely. You know me. Come on, man. Romulo, you know I'm going to have that. Wow, that's some really good suggestions, you guys. Thank you so much. I'm going to have all of that. Step by step, how to start on jazz piano. How to play like Nasir. I think a lot of beginners should learn basic chart writing. Yes. Look at Art Tatum, how to play with others. Wow, man, this is gonna need to be an academy, not a school. Harmony by ear, chord solo, modes would be cool. Yep, modes is happening for sure. Chord solo, harmony by ear. Example of different energy levels, first gear over different kinds of tunes. Wow, yeah. Oh man, wow, that's a really good examples of gear levels. Yeah, that's true. Different energy levels sounds good. Yeah. Yeah, wow. Harmonic analysis, triadic improvisation, hard bop. Yeah. Bump the gear level. Yep. How to go from gear to gear. Wow, you guys. I need to hire you guys to be my advisors. I don't know that I can do courses on all of this because I don't know that I'm an expert on all of this, but some of this for sure. Gear energy levels. Yeah, why not a course on that? That's such an important topic. How to change gears. Inner voice movement. Yes, I'm already writing curriculum for that. Yep. Oh man, this is more than I can handle. You're one of the few people who can actually teach how to practice. So no matter what you teach, please focus on that aspect, not just the techniques. Right, how to actually practice everything. You're right, Megumi, that's very true. Every course I do, I'm gonna have to focus how to practice everything. Michelle Petrucciani harmony explanations. Oh, Michelle Petrucciani is so amazing. I love Michelle Petrucciani so much. Yes, I agree on how to practice thing. Yes, you're right. You guys, I'm gonna focus on every course how to practice the material. You're so right. Not just explain it, but like how to practice it. I have enough subject for multiple decades now, not just semesters. Guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I had a great time. Career organization, yes. I had a great time with you guys. Thank you so much for your questions. Thank you so much for your answers. Thank you for keeping me company during these crazy times where we are all locked up by ourselves in our houses. I really appreciate it. I'm all here by myself. There's no one. It's just me every day. It's really cool that you guys came to hang out with me. I gotta get on the phone about something pretty soon, in a few minutes. But I'll play later tonight on Instagram. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I'll be doing this more often, and the school is going to be launched pretty soon. I'm filming now. I'm gonna film some of the topics you guys gave me. Also, a bunch of great ideas. Thank you for tuning in. I really always appreciate it. I'm sorry I haven't been doing videos. That's a long story. I'm gonna do a lot, and I'm figuring out ways to help you guys and maybe make $1 or $2 to survive at these crazy times. I'll see you guys later, and thank you so much for joining me once again. Stay safe, okay? And enjoy practicing.